Welcome to this week's episode. It is my honor to be your host, Dr. Katie Williams, with Dr. Williams LLC and the Dr. Williams podcast. If you want to keep this show up and running, please take a moment to follow the show, leave a rating and a review, and share it with somebody that you think would enjoy listening. This show is about highlighting what I consider to be the most valuable form of communication. And it's something we all have, whether we're tapped into it or not. That is intuition. Let's jump right in and see how today's guest utilizes their unique ability to tap into their intuition and how they use it to serve others. Make sure to listen to the end to find out how you can work with today's guest. I'm here today with Britton Hoffman, and she is just a wonderful soul. We had an amazing conversation before setting up this recording, and she graciously offered to provide me with a session, which is something that she does with a lot of people. She covers a lot of area, and I'm going to let her kind of explain what that is. But we are going to just have a discussion today. We're going to see what comes up and where her intuition leads us and guides the whole entire thing. I'm really excited and I'm honored to have you on the show. Britton, thank you for being here. Could you please just introduce yourself to the audience and let them know what it is that you do?
Yes, my name is Britton Hoffman. I go by the best name I'm called is B because I'm a grandmother. So I love that title as well. But most people call me Britton. What I do is I am a therapist by education, by trade. I have a degree, a master's in counseling and student education. I have been a learner of people for my entire life. I've studied people, I've communicated with people, I've interacted with people. And what's essential in what I do is I've connected with people over many, many years in my life. And I've come to understand something that has helped me be efficient in my work with people and successful in my work with people. And that is communicating and connecting with people, not from my head, but from my heart or my core. So what I do in my work is I connect with people on a level that's deeper than the thinking part of our brain, the part of our brain that's got all kind of noise in it, like the negative stuff that comes in, the judgments, the expectations, the shoulds, the musts. And I go to a deeper level and I connect with people and hear them from a different part of my body. I call that my intuition. So what I normally do with people is I meet with them, I see what's going on with them in their lives, and we come to an understanding or a topic that they want to work on. And from there, we just start having a conversation, basically. I respond not from my head or from my thinking, but I respond from my intuition.
Yes.
And that 99.9% of the time kind of hits them in a spot that is on target, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I've kind of taken all my skills that I've learned from the classroom and from books and from my life experience, and I've incorporated that in a sense in the way I communicate, but I always rely on my gut reaction or response to initiate the conversation.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this because everything you just explained that's kind of my focus. And I think that's where the mental health field should be going.
Definitely.
Is bringing that intuition into the therapy process. So I love that you're doing it, and I love that it's successful. It's helping people, because that's the feeling I get, that really would be the most beneficial for people. And I'm super excited to have you pointed at me and see where it takes us. So how do we jump in and get started?
All right. Well, what's going on in your life? How are you today? What are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I was really excited to talk with you, and I have a little bit of anxiety going on. I actually, this episode probably won't be airing for months because I have so many in my queue. And I had decided I was going to slow down on interviews and take a step back and just kind of work on some other things. But I found that things have picked up actually, and I've made a lot of connections lately. So I guess I'm kind of trying to go with that flow and not resist it,
Mm-hmm.
but also feeling a little anxious that, I have all this stuff sitting here and it's going to take time to let it roll out.
Mm-hmm. I hear what you're saying. A lot of times we get caught up in our heads, and there's like a cadence that we follow. And it goes like this: well, you should have this done by now.
Yeah.
You said that you were going to have these aired by this time. Look at your schedule. You've got 3 or 4 bookings, and you haven't even edited the ones that have come before. And we get caught from here up.
Yeah.
And what I suggest, if you'll work with me for a moment, is I just want you to try to kind of gather up your awareness in your head. I call this pure awareness, pure thought. It's that part of our awareness that kind of repels or does not take in the external or outside messages. That one moment of thought that we have before all the shoulds, the musts, the judgments, the I have tos come in. And I want you to just kind of twirl that pure thought, that energy, and I want you to kind of just bring it down through your head, through your jaw. Loosen your jaw up as you do that a little bit, through your neck. And I want you to try to just land it in your heart space, right here in your body. And what's really cool about this experience is that as we bring our awareness down, our pure thought down, there's like a sieve that's right here. And it doesn't allow any of the negative noise or external inputs that we receive on a day-to-day basis, that we've received our whole life, to come through. The only thing that is allowed to come through, or is capable of coming through because it's pure, is that pure thought. And it comes down into this heart space, and just allow it to sit there and be there in the moment. This is where our intuition lies. And just feel that energy. And as you have thoughts come through your head, because they will, because we're human and we really can't disconnect our heads from our bodies without a bad end result. Let them come through, and you can just acknowledge them, but don't give them energy. So as your grocery shopping list comes through,
Yeah.
as, oh, I have to pick this person up. Oh, the dry cleaning. What am I going to have for dinner? All those thoughts that come through, just like in meditation, we're just going to let them slide past our awareness and continue to just bring that pure thought down into our heart center. And we're just going to peacefully connect with ourselves, our intuition, our gut. And I just want you to be able to bring into your awareness the peacefulness that exists without the negative interruptions of all this noise.
Hmm.
Notice what comes into your awareness. And whatever comes into your awareness is good, and it has value when it comes in from here. And then I want you to just drop down a little bit further into your body and just have a moment where you experience and acknowledge with gratitude and appreciation your body.
Hmm.
This is the part of you that gives you a lot of information that we tend to ignore. You may feel parts of your body that are a little bit tense, or that have some heat to them or some achingness, and just pay special attention to those. We're just bringing awareness to this as if that part of the body can communicate to you. Listen with your heart. Listen with that pure thought. What is it telling you? Perhaps it's saying, slow down. Take a breath. Perhaps it's saying, everything is cool and all right in this moment.
That was exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
All is well.
All is well. And continue to bring that awareness down through your body, through all parts of your body. And for women, it's especially important to focus on the lower abdomen, the reproductive areas, because we hold a lot of tension and stress and anxiety. So just have some loving kindness, awareness, gratitude, and appreciation for those parts of our body. For women, this is really hard. I want you to be appreciative of your backside. When you bring pure thought, information from your heart center down, you can appreciate and accept each and every part of your body with gratitude and appreciation. The way it holds you in the seat, the way your feet hold you and connect you to the earth, how your body moves you through your world, your experiences, and your environment. And just allow yourself to feel that calm, that peace. And listen with this pure energy, with your body. Just listen to what your body has to tell you. In this very moment, as you said, all is well. Now bring your awareness back up through your body. Let it land in your heart space. And I always suggest that when we do this process on the way back up, we take note. It's almost like you're stopping the flow of energy, and you just put your hand on your chest, on your heart. And this is a mental or a physical touchstone, so to speak, so that when you are feeling anxious or have these thoughts driven through your brain and you're starting to feel like the shoulds and the must-haves and the have-to-dos and all the judgments come in, if you just simply put your hand where it lays right now, it triggers a memory to listen to the body. And so we make that a touchstone. We speak to our subconscious and our conscious as well, that when our hand is across our heart or on our chest, we're reminding ourselves that the body has the most information to offer. We just take a moment there. Again, with gratitude and appreciation, then we bring our awareness back up through that sieve. This time, the sieve allows for all the positive energy, all the flow to come up and within the headspace. All the information, all the energy is allowed to come up because it is the most important voice. It's the most important input to be considered throughout your day. More important than all the noise from the outside. And allow that to flow up into your headspace. And now your head is connected to your body. Your pure thought is connected to your intuition. And then come to awareness of your space. Take a deep breath in. And then just revisit the idea of the creation of this podcast and all the connections that you're making and all the opportunities that present. And just notice how you feel about it.
I feel better. I feel more clear. It felt like the sieve was particularly important to me because it felt like a filter.
Yeah.
It felt like it was filtering as it went through. And then as it came back through like a second filter, it just felt cleansed. And when you first started, I was very aware of what the anxiety was, that it's this fear that I'm not honoring these people that I want to honor. And that's part of what I'm doing, right? I'm putting people on the podcast to put themselves out to my audience. I want to honor my audience, but I want to honor these people. And with this timeline, I was worried that I was putting them off. And even though everybody said they're okay with it, it was my own fear. And then as you helped me work through it and I realized all is well and I settled into that, I just came back to that feeling of it's okay. It's all right. All things in divine timing. And
Exactly.
and if everybody else is okay with it, then why am I not? So I can step into that. I'm okay with it too.
Right. It's
Yeah.
permission.
Yes.
It's permission for self. And that's what's so important. It's the thing that we miss, especially as women. We offer permission. We give grace all the time.
Yeah.
The place that we don't apply it is self so often. So yeah, you honor people in taking your time to allow their voice to be heard in God's timing,
Yeah.
not in ours,
Right. You're right.
right?
Yeah.
And that is where peace then becomes real. So we're really bringing that spiritual connection we have, which is here. I often say that my connection, so that people have like kind of an understanding or a visual, because some people need to have like, what do you mean, that connection? I envision a telephone cord, and that, for people that are too young, is a cord that was connected to your wall, to your phone and your receiver. I'm old enough to say that happened. So I see the spiral phone cord, look it up, and
I'm familiar too.
it's a silver cord that connects to, and I just use this part of me because my heart is located there. I sense this is just where I feel it, and I bring it into myself. And that cord is connected to my higher power. So it's if I have a direct line from my higher self, my higher being, that which is not encapsulated in this human body, to the person or the entity I call God, that created me. And so if I always imagine that line is clear, I have an amazing sense of peace.
Yeah.
When I go up here and focus from here up, I will screw myself up 100%.
Would you like a solo hindsight episode related to this specific reading? If you do, send me an email at hello@drwilliamspodcast.com, and all you have to put in the email is hindsight and the kind of reading or my guest's name, and I'll know which one you're interested in. As I produced the Intuitive Wonderland, time went on before I actually launched it. So I have a unique perspective on each of these readings and how they played out in time. Most of these readings were recorded a year ago in the past. So I can offer my insight into the information that was provided to me and how the information has played out in time in my life. If this is something you're interested in, I'm happy to share that with you. Please send me an email and let me know. All right, let's get back to the reading.
Because
I noticed
right.
what you were doing. You were bringing me into my body, out of my head and into my body. And it's kind of grounding and a mindfulness that I really am supportive of. For me, a lot of times it's the shower where I get to do that because I feel the water. I'm able to focus on what my body is feeling and really get out of my head. And that's usually when I get that clearing in my head, that's when my inspiration comes. And that's
Beautiful.
that's where I get ideas for the podcast and my creative juices flow. But if I'm up in my head all the time, it's all muddled up and kind of crazy, a lot of
Right.
anxious thoughts.
Exactly. And they do come. It's like an immediate thing. It's amazing, we're created beautifully and perfectly. But it is interesting that from here up is how we most often perceive our world or feel that we're taking it in, through our eyes and our ears primarily, through our noses, and then of course through our mouths. But it's the rest of us from the neck down that really takes in the information. That's why when you're in the shower and you're actually massaging your skin with the soap and the water runs down your body is sending signals. Yes. Take care of me. Touch me.
Yeah.
Give me information. Give me love.
Yes.
I don't know if you have children, but I have 4 of them, and now I have grandbabies, which is even more amazing. But I know that when I held my children, or they would be fussy, just the squeezing or the caressing or the just rubbing in certain areas would just bring them peace and calm. And they're a
Absolutely.
beautiful example of how we can be in the world. You know, they're on the table and they're stark naked and they're flailing around and tooting and peeing and doing whatever they do. And I love to watch them breathe because they're so free and because they're so connected to their experience and to the peace, their bellies expand with their breath. Give me one woman that doesn't walk around holding in their bellies
Yes.
and breathing from here up.
I got to
Not
tell you, I had my first ayahuasca ceremony recently, and working with the shaman, he worked with me. He did something called Bowen on me,
okay.
and I was able to breathe down into my stomach for the first time ever. It
Wow.
felt like ever, like since I remembered. I had
Yeah,
been stuck in my chest, and once I breathed down there, I felt like a new person. It was like,
exactly.
wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Um, I'm really glad that you brought up children. I think you may have sensed that I was kind of leaning that way because right before you did it, I was thinking, I already have another question.
Okay.
I have two, by the way. I have two sons, 7 and
Lovely.
5.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest son is struggling right now with homework. Well,
Mm.
I don't know if it's really his struggle or mine. And I lose my temper and I
Mm-hmm.
get very frustrated and we end up in tears, both of us. And then I end up holding him on the bed and telling him how much I love him and that I believe in him and I know how smart he is. And it's this whole cycle that we're going through that I want to break.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if you're able to help me through that so that I can be more calm, I can be more present, I can be more patient with him,
Okay.
and also find a way to help him learn so that
Mm-hmm.
it's helpful to him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as we said before, put your hand to your heart and feel that place that you were just at peace. And just let me know when you're there. You've brought the pure energy down through not allowing any specifically judgments about you as a mother to funnel down to that heart space. I want you to leave those specifically behind. Judgments about how you are as a mother, your aptitudes, your abilities, your successes. I want you to leave them up in your head where all the other crap is. Just bring that down. So you're right here in your heart space and you give me a nod if you're there.
I'm there.
All right, now we're going to invite the energy. And what's your oldest son's name?
Austin.
Austin. We want to invite Austin's energy into this heart space. There you go. I see he arrived. Yes.
He did.
Yeah, yeah. Usually probably like with abounding laughter and joy. So we just invite him here in that heart space and we bring him in and we are going to just sit with his energy for a moment and be together and one with that energy. Just visualize 7 years ago, this child in utero, feeling his heart beat in tandem with yours, the closeness that you felt, all the hopes and the dreams that you had, the fears and the anxieties that maybe came in. Realize and remember that connection, that purity of good intent for this young person. And I want you to also bring that awareness back to his current 7-year-old self and just have a conversation with him. This can be out loud, but it's a private conversation, so it can be just between the two of you, and we will hold that space for that to happen. And just pour into him your intent of helping him, supporting him in his process. Allow him to understand and be confident in your support of his process. Yeah. Allow him to continue to receive what you're pouring into him and just feel his energy shift, that this intent is all for his good. There's no judgment. There's no musts, shoulds, have tos. There's just pure love and support for Austin's process and learning. And once you've poured that into him, allow him then, once he's received this, to give you information. He may feel frustrated and not really know how to explain that to you. He may feel that he has to make you proud. And that's okay. We appreciate that, Austin. That's lovely. He may want to have an experience where you just let it go for a little bit. You know what? Let's take a break. That you hug him before the homework begins and you sit with him on that bed and you remind him during that time of day, the homework time, that this is a special time. Perhaps you offer to him that he can teach you how to better help him. Yeah. And just allow him to pour that information into you and watch him as you receive this openly and lovingly without judgment or concern. Give it a moment. And then just share between you that love, that connection that you've had and always will have. And then let him go on his way. And then just sit with that experience for a moment. Allowing all that connection and that warmth, that emotion, that love, everything that is important to just fill your whole body. And then bring that awareness back up into your headspace. Again, there's no barrier. It all comes into your head and it pushes out the judgments, especially those, I remind you, that are negative in that you judge yourself as a mother. You're taught to do that. There's multiple things out there in the world. You're not good enough. How many Instagram shots where the kid's sitting in a perfect outfit with not one stain on him, nothing on his fingers, and he's doing his homework? Believe me, that's never happened, ever. Allow that to be pushed out by this love and this connection, this awareness and this understanding between you and your son, Austin. And then bring yourself, that's it, take a deep breath, bring yourself to awareness and just notice if there is a movement or a shift in the homework.
So,
Yeah.
Wow, that was incredible.
Yeah.
I learned so much in that moment. The conversation between me and him, he explained to me that this resistance I'm feeling, it really isn't about me against him. It's me against me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have this idea, this belief that children are to be free, and our school system is not really developed in a way to support that. And I've been teaching him to step into who he really is, to know his inner being, to listen to his inner being. And he's doing all of that. And he chose me as his mom because I have that belief, because that is the life he wants to live. And I'm resisting my own belief in allowing him to do that. and just being there to support him in expressing it and stepping into that and whatever that's going to be for his adulthood.
Beautiful. And therefore, he is your teacher.
He is my teacher.
Yeah. What a gift he is.
Wow. Wow, is it like this for everybody you work with? Like I am.
I love it. And again, I'm getting teary-eyed too, because there's the connection. And there
Yeah.
is this belief that, when you work with someone, that you're supposed to be the stoic and not, have your own. I connected with you as a mother.
Yeah.
So that part of me that has mothered, for decades now, and is now into grandparenting, and, in a sense, is connected to that part of you, which is in the active phase of mothering your two sons.
Yeah. Wow. That was a
And
beautiful
that's how
thing.
we connect.
Wow. I am very happy right now. And
Lovely.
I'm so appreciative of you. Thank you.
And I
Honestly,
appreciate you as well.
from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this is such an intimate moment, and yet we're going to be sharing it. So
Yeah.
to all of you that are listening, I got kind of caught up in that moment there, but it really was a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I think we should tell people how they can find you, how they can work with you, should
Mm-hmm.
they feel like this resonated with them and they'd like
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. I am available on Facebook. And I'm not really a businesswoman, so I don't I don't have a fancy, website or any of that kind of thing. It's amazing. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Dead on. When I started working with people, it was primarily in drug and alcohol addictions. And I love that population. I dealt mainly with people that were involved with the criminal justice system. So I dealt with people with mental health, criminal justice, and drug addiction. So like the trifecta of difficulties and struggles. And I learned through that everybody deserves to have connection and healing and opportunity. And so if people want to, or are so inclined and just want to see what this crazy Britton is, about, I'm Britton Hoffman on Facebook.
Okay.
And then I don't know if we give out the email address or
Sure.
if you can post that. It's BHOFF, like my last name. And then the dead giveaway is 81362. Yes, I'm 61 years old. I wasn't very creative. And that's at gmail.com. So it's bhoff81362 at gmail.com.
Okay.
And I will look at each and every email and I will respond. Give me a little bit of time because I do see quite a few clients on a weekly basis.
I just want to interject, since this is something that we discussed, that if you're worried for financial reasons, whether you can work with Britton, don't worry about it. Just reach out and you guys can have a discussion about that.
Yeah, yeah.
You're passionate about this and it's really
I
the
am.
work for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And it's, people don't often realize, but when we connect with people, we are feeding our souls. We're not all on our own individual island. We are in community. We are in populations. And no matter what you're experiencing in your life, reaching out and connecting with other people is an amazing healing process.
Mm.
And I did learn too that by my reaching out and my helping other people, much of the things that I've ever struggled with in my life have been resolved.
Wow.
So in my communicating with you, in my communicating with the people that I get to every day, I am being filled. I am being poured into.
That's beautiful. And that
Yeah.
really, I think, opens up the allowing for people to come to you when they understand that this isn't all about them. You're
Right.
getting something out of this too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And not everything has to be transactional. We also get in our heads, and this is the noise, that it has to be expensive. It has to be paid for. You have to buy a bunch of stuff. That's the capital society that we live in. That's not where I exist. I exist from a place of, I have this gift that has been given to me by my Creator. And it is my purpose in life to use that gift to the highest purpose. And that is rich in its rewards.
Well, I can vouch for that because
Yeah.
I felt it today, and it really made an impact on me in the best of ways. So thank you. Really,
Oh, my
truly
pleasure.
thank you.
My pleasure.
That concludes today's episode. It is my hope that you found benefit in listening to today's guest and gained a greater appreciation for the guidance of intuition in each of us. If you haven't already, please make sure to follow us on social media under Dr. Williams Podcast. Look within, trust your intuition, and allow yourself to explore all the splendor that it has to offer. This is the Intuitive Wonderland.